The desert stretched endlessly beneath the sun, a sea of golden dunes, each wave of sand whispering secrets older than time. In this vast emptiness, a brotherhood of men rode in silence, their white mantles marked with crimson crosses, the familiar clinking of armor mingling with the soft sigh of wind. They were the Templars, knights devoted to God, protectors of the sacred, guardians of pilgrims, and seekers of a higher purpose. Their lives were defined by vows of courage and faith, and their voices, raised in Gregorian chants, carried over the sands like an unbroken thread connecting heaven and earth. The year was 1187. Rumors had swept across Europe of the Holy Land imperiled. Kingdoms called upon their devout, summoning men to reclaim what was sacred, to protect the weak, and to fight for the glory of God. Among the most revered were the Templars, bound by an oath that demanded both courage and unwavering devotion. They gathered in cloisters lit by flickering candlelight, kneeling in silent prayer. The soft harmonies of Gregorian chants filled the stone halls, a sound that seemed to rise beyond the walls and into the heavens themselves. Brother Lucien, a young knight with hair the color of burnished bronze, traced the edge of his crimson cross with a trembling hand. His heart pounded with anticipation, and yet, beneath the fear, a spark of determination shone. "For God," he whispered, the words barely audible above the chant of his brothers. Brother Alaric, older and weathered by battle, placed a hand on Lucian's shoulder. "Fear is natural," he said softly, "but it is devotion that guides the hand of the faithful. Remember this as you ride." When dawn broke, the Templars mounted their horses. The sun caught the steel of their armor, and the white and red banners snapped crisply in the wind. They rode in formation, the rhythmic sound of hooves echoing across the barren landscape. Each step was a declaration, each chant a prayer sent into the sky. The desert awaited, vast and unyielding, a test of both body and soul. The first days were trials of endurance. The sun pressed mercilessly upon their armor, and the sand infiltrated every fold of cloth, every joint of metal. Nights brought a cold so deep it seemed to pierce through to the very bone, and stars so brilliant they felt almost divine in their clarity. Yet through the hardship, the Templars sang. Their voices rose and fell in haunting harmony, weaving together with the sigh of the wind. Sometimes Lucian would catch glimpses of ghostly figures moving along the dunes, saints, angels, or perhaps memories of fallen brothers. These fleeting visions bolstered his courage, reminding him that they were never truly alone. The chants became their lifeline, sustaining them when flesh and will faltered. Each note was a shield, each silence a meditation, a thread connecting their mortal selves to the eternal. Weeks passed, and the desert grew harsher. Hunger gnawed at their bellies, thirst scorched their tongues, the relentless heat bent their bodies, and the endless miles weighed heavily on their spirits. Doubt whispered in the shadows. Was this path truly sanctified, or were they chasing a dream born of human vanity? The Templars answered not with words, but with song. Gregorian chants poured forth, resonant and unbroken, carrying their prayers through the dunes. Brother Alaric's voice rose like a clarion call, steady and commanding, and the others joined in, weaving a tapestry of sound that seemed to make the desert itself bow to their devotion. Sandstorms swirled around them, threatening to scatter the group like leaves, yet the harmony endured. In those moments, the desert became both trial and sanctuary, shaping them into instruments of faith. One night, as the moon hung silver over the dunes, the Templars stumbled upon the ruins of an ancient city. Stones blackened and weathered by the relentless sun told stories older than the kingdom of Jerusalem itself. Here, among the remnants of forgotten empires, they knelt and chanted. The ruins amplified their voices, creating an almost supernatural resonance. The past seemed to breathe through the stones, as if acknowledging their presence, as if blessing their devotion. Lucian approached a carved doorway, tracing the worn symbols with a gloved hand. "These men, they lived and prayed as we do now," he murmured. "Their faith endured. Perhaps ours shall too." Alaric nodded. "Faith is not measured in days or victories," he replied. "It is measured in devotion. Even here, in the emptiness, our prayers remain." The desert, for all its mercilessness, had revealed a truth to them. The crusade was not about conquest, nor even about glory. It was about purpose, about devotion, about the silent but unbreakable bond between man and the divine. Each chant, each prayer, each step in the sand became a bridge to eternity, a testament to the enduring spirit of those who walked in faith. The Templars' journey continued, each day blending into the next in an almost sacred monotony. Battles awaited them, decisions that would weigh heavily on their souls. Yet they pressed forward, knowing that their duty was far greater than the self, far greater than mortal fear. Their chants became prayers for all. For the pilgrims they protected, for those who could not speak, for generations yet to come. Even when exhaustion threatened to claim them, faith endured. One evening, as the stars shimmered like divine fire above, the Templars gathered among the ruins for one final vigil before moving deeper into the desert. The wind carried whispers of the past, echoes of battles long ended, of prayers long forgotten. In the silence, they felt a presence beyond comprehension, a sacred witness to their devotion. Brother Lucian closed his eyes and let the chant rise from his lips. Each note vibrated through his chest, through his soul, connecting him to every knight who had walked before him and every pilgrim who would follow. Alaric joined him, his voice deep and steady, and one by one, the others followed. The desert seemed to hold its breath, the sands stilling as the song of devotion soared into the night. In that moment, the Templars understood what had drawn them across the harsh lands, through trials of body and spirit. It was not conquest, nor fame, nor even survival. It was faith, devotion that transcended time, that endured beyond flesh, beyond fear, beyond the sands themselves. Their chants were no longer simply prayers. They had become eternal echoes, a bridge between the mortal and the divine, between the past and the future. And so the desert holds their memory. Across dunes and ruins, through the endless night and the first light of dawn, the Templars' voices linger. Those who listen closely can hear the echo of a brotherhood bound by faith, singing across eternity. Even in the harshest lands, the human spirit finds sanctuary. Even in the quietest moments, devotion endures, and the sacred song of the Templars drifts forever upon the wind. The desert is vast, eternal, and merciless. Yet within it lies the proof of a truth older than kingdoms, older than empires. The Templars marched, prayed, and sang not for glory, not for conquest, but for faith. And in their devotion, they left an echo that time itself cannot silence. A song for the ages, carried by the wind, etched in the sand, and whispered in eternity.